Erokamano ahinya Owengo, kapod wantiere weche mag ochumi hata weche mag bajet ene jolony mag ochumi mawuok kar tiegruok mar Institute of Economic Affairs oseyo moko kuom pok mar bajet mar omenda mar 2024-2025 mane osomo odiochieng' manyoro gi jatend migawo mar omenda Njuguna Ndung'u. Kata kamano gikwayo piny owacho mondo oket lwasi makare mar ywayo joket mwandu e pacho kae wirane osuru ma jopiny golo ema konyo chwalo pok mag omenda moket e bajet. Sharon Ong'ao ni kod mathoth.
Kagiloso e romo manokelo kanyakla jofwambo kaachiel gi jokanyo mar kar tiegruok mar Institute of Economic Affairs, jolony medo kod pok mar omenda manochiwne sectors mopogore opogore. Giwacho ni kopogore gi chulo gope, piny owacho tiyo kod omenda mathoth e chudo mag osara mag jotije piny owacho.
In terms of the spending, the biggest spending head obviously outside debt redemption is salaries, which will be about another 1.1 close to 1.2 trillion. So if you look at all that, it's not enough from the revenues that government will raise to pay for all obligations. And that here comes the borrowing, which will come to about 500 billion shillings, slightly more than 500 billion, close to 600 billion shillings of borrowing. Half of it will come from domestic sources of borrowing, about 240, 250, and an additional 260 or thereabouts will come from external sources of borrowing.
The more rational thing would have been to propose or to start the fiscal consolidation by relooking at the wage bill generally, by harmonizing the salaries and allowances of the public in the public sector. I think we've seen the biggest slippage of public funds being in inflated salaries, payments to non-existent persons, what we call ghost workers.
Gimedo kwayo piny owacho mondo chul gope magintiere godo mag jo ohala e samo winjore. Kaluwore ni mane mosebedo ka medo gope mag piny owacho.
Trading bills, to some extent, contribute to the issue of public debt. Our accounting officers should make sure that we are paying our suppliers and our contractors on time, because failure to do that, it affects the overall liquidity of our farms.
Pok mar bilion 400 mabiro dhi ne sirikande mag loch gwenge e hik omenda mar higa mar 2024-2025. Bende giwacho ni oken pok mamalo ma piny owacho osechiwo ne counties. Wera ni omenda maket kod mano bende ne osechwal ne counties e hik omenda mar higa mar 2019 higa mar 2020.
It is also not true that this is the highest income that county governments have received, because in 2017, or rather in 2019, if you consider inflation amounts that have occurred, and since then inflation has really been high, last year inflation was close to 10%, then the amount of money given to counties this year is barely equivalent to what counties received in 2019.
Kata kamano, kaluwore gi chal mar ochumi, jolony go ywago lwasi marach mar timo ohala e pacho kae, ka gikwayo piny owacho mondo ber lwasi mar ohala mondo med ywayo joket mwandu e pacho kae.
The moment we have more of our domestic borrowing, what will happen is that because of high interest rate that are charged to the loans by the government, by the institution that relate to the government, then it means that most of it will be crowding out our investors.
Jolony gocho ni biro chuno mondo ganda mapacho kae oredo kanda. Kaluwore ni piny owacho okwaikore mar dwoko piny kwan mag omenda ma osebedo kotiyo godo.
The whole budget message for us as the Institute of Economic Affairs is for Kenyans to understand that really times are tight, and government is unprepared to cut a lot of expenditures, and therefore that's why there's a bridging that is required from the new finance bill.
Sharon Ong'ao, Ramogi TV.